think based on my experience interacting with people who are not directly in academia, for example, when I write a digested version of my research, or when I talk to journalists, or when I try to explain my research to friends or professional contacts outside of academia, methodology issue is actually front and center in how we communicate our research. A few examples. So for example, whenever you talk about what you find, people almost always ask you, so among what population, right? What is the group you're trying to speak to? Then you have to think about, okay, how did I get my data? Usually people are intrigued, like, where did you get your data? What is the population like? What would your findings be relevant for? So sampling, that's definitely a methodology issue that always comes up when you try to communicate what you do outside of academia. And second thing, I think also very often as another example is internal validity. So people would always be curious, oh, what about this explanation? Have you thought about that? Right? They don't have to usually always use the language that's like how we would ask people question in a research talk, but it's the same thing. They're wondering like, okay, are you sure that is a cause that's leading to the effect? What about these other things? And have you considered that? And also sometimes outside of when you communicate your research outside of academia, people would wonder, how did you come up with your measure? We often have this abstract idea, a concept we're trying to study. And then if you're doing empirical work, there's also this concrete observable evidence you are using, metrics you're using to quantify your abstract ideas. And when we communicate with other people who are not necessarily researching in our field, they would wonder, right, like, is that a good indication or reflection of the abstract idea? And they may have other insights. I think that's another place where methodology issue may surface.